Hello, and welcome to Technically Speaking, where scientists and engineers come together to chat about common interests, share knowledge, and satisfy some curiosity. I'm Antonia, and today I'm joined by Jasmin and Ellie to talk about restoring modern society after a global catastrophe. So, I brought us this topic because I've been watching a lot of post-apocalyptic TV shows and films. And then, Jasmin, you sent me a list of all the films you've watched, and there was a lot.
Yep, I really like. For some reason, I just am really into disaster movies, so yeah, really questioning myself now.
But maybe there's something we can learn from it, you know? Doomsday preppers, maybe there's something to glean from all the potential scenarios. But have you got a favourite, and why?
So I think my favourite disaster movie of all time would probably be Waterworld, probably because I saw it when I was really little, and it's one of those movies that's so bad it's good. But for anyone who's not familiar with Waterworld, it's a Kevin Costner movie from when he was doing a bunch of action hero movies. But it's the world post the impacts of global warming, where all the ice caps melt, so all of the land is flooded, and Kevin Costner must lead a group of humans to the last remaining piece of land on Earth. So that's basically what the movie's about.
I can't believe it's an environmental disaster movie. I don't know what I was expecting when you started that. Normally there's zombies or some kind of alien race, but just environmental disaster.
Yeah, it's one of the few where it's actual environmental, post-apocalyptic. The rest are zombies, aliens, disease, aliens again.
Especially for a relatively older movie, not in the last 10 years.
So shall I introduce you, Ellie, since you are speaking?
Because I'm jumping the gun already. Go on.
Well, or do you want to introduce yourself? What's your interest in this topic?
I have seen a few disaster movies / TV shows in my time. Nowhere near as many as either of you, I don't think. But I do think it's interesting. I just thought it would be fun. I wanted to join in, speculate, see where we end up.
So yeah, this one's a bit of a different episode because how does one actually do research for this kind of topic? It's like trying to get the Wikipedia or the manual for everything in life ever. So this is a lot more of a speculation, a bit more of a fun episode about all the things that we've seen in films and what impact could that have?
All the possibilities.
Yep.
Absolutely. A thought that I wanted to sort of discuss and I'm going to bring up first was we've already got a pretty good system like Wikipedia, the internet, a lot of knowledge that how easy or how difficult would it be to just rebuild society? We have information at our fingertips. What could really go wrong?
Are you assuming that we've lost power? Have we lost the internet in this scenario? Because if we lose all this knowledge that's stored on web pages and whatever, then you're suddenly back to the olden days of going to a library and looking at a book and trying to figure out how to do things from there. So we could be very screwed quite quickly if we suddenly lose power to the internet.
But if we lose both power, internet, and also books, then we may have to be in Mad Max, where you have the knowledge man whose only job is to remember everything and also write notes on his skin.
That was amazing. Knowledge man, he showed that there is a place for someone who remembers everything, even in such a dumb world like Mad Max.
Yep.
So tell me more about Knowledge Man. So you say, I need to learn how to grow a potato, and Knowledge Man will tell you what you need to do.
Yep, basically. Yeah, things that Knowledge Man has been asked are, what is crying? Who is Furiosa?
Oh, did people forget that in Mad Max? I confess I've never seen any Mad Max films.
Oh, it's good.
I think Mad Max there's a very big nuclear incident across Australia. So most of humanity is mutated. So apparently the ability to cry is something that most humans have lost.
Oh.
So if you're a healthy human, you can cry.
That is not a consequence I saw coming.
Yeah, it's
potential nuclear disaster.
Yeah, it's a weird movie, but great.
Yeah, there are other themes. I think the crying one is a very, very small bit.
Yeah, there are other bits where he uses knowledge, but but going back to knowledge, I mean, there are pieces of knowledge that have survived thousands of years. They're just not in digital form. So there are scrolls that are thousands of years old that have been perfectly preserved. There's also literally stone carvings with information that I think still get used.
Yeah, they just found a massive stone carving of a snake in South America. and next to the snake was a massive carving, like a centipede or a millipede, and they think it was a warning to like other tribes in the area to like either beware of the snake or be like, the snake isn't real, but they don't know it, so don't come on our territory. So yeah, but I think like practical stuff, because that's the thing, right? If you lose, like, I mean, losing Wikipedia would be bad, but at the same time, you don't need to know who won gold in the 1996 Olympics when you don't have any food or water. Some knowledge is not as useful as other knowledge.
Do you think like more recent knowledge, like I don't know how to make a USB, has ever been printed, or do you think since the digital age we've kind of not bothered printing out knowledge, and so we've kind of like lost, or we'll be stuck with our Microsoft XP for dummies?
Yeah, although I can pretty much guarantee you, I think my dad probably knows how to make a USB drive.
Like a physical one?
If he can find the parts, he can probably make one.
How would you build the software again?
My dad is pretty good at coding.
Okay.
He could probably figure it along. If he gets access to, like, the parts of a computer, he can probably do something. My dad, his very first TV, he built it.
Oh, wow.
That's impressive. There are people that, like, build their own computers and their own cars. Kit cars are a thing.
Yeah.
But you must have there's some sort of user manual for that, right? Or some YouTube video that you want and make sure you're on the right track.
So, in this case, we're sticking by Jasmine's dad to
Yes.
get digital knowledge.
Yep.
To help us through. He can be our knowledge man.
He's our knowledge man, yes. Right? Is that solve my digital knowledge problem?
Really?
But it's not, though, is it? Because there's other things we use the internet for.
I mean, depends on, like, what kind of knowledge. So we're just talking about Wikipedia. I mean, yeah, we still have the Encyclopedia Britannica. If we lose the internet, you can borrow the copies out in my parents' house if you want to look up facts about the world.
But there's no WikiHow.
There's no WikiHow,
all
no.
those how-to guides, all those YouTube guides.
Also, how would we get to Jasmine's house, right? Because I use Google Maps constantly. And if if we've got no internet, no, like, that sort of knowledge, do I have to crack out a real map?
Well, thankfully, I have been to Jasmine's house, so I can actually remember it.
It's okay, I'll just tell you how to read the stars to get to my parents' house.
I could find a compass. Like, I could read a map. I did D&D way back when.
It's just...
I think a compass might be easier than star map.
Yeah, it would be.
Because it will change as the seasons change.
Yeah, I don't think I'd have any hope.
Moana navigates using the stars, okay? That's how her and her people navigate. That's how they navigated the sea.
No, it's a legit form of travel. I just think I'd be bad at it.
I was just thinking more for like the modern person. Like navigators by sea definitely lived by that, but there were no roads where they go.
No.
That's also a point.
Yeah.
But are we assuming like all the internet has gone down? So stuff like money suddenly becomes less relevant. Like we've got no banking.
That would be a pretty bad outcome.
Yeah. Well, unless you're the type of person who just like has a load of cash stuffed under their mattress.
There's definitely those people out there, aren't there? They'll keep like cash under their floorboard.
The ones who don't trust banks. Or the ones trying to avoid paying tax.
You can see why though. It's like when it's not tangible, it's different. 100 quid in your hand is different to opening an app on your phone and being like, oh, well, there's £100 in my bank account.
Or even like intangible money, like stocks and shares.
Bitcoin.
I would not be upset. If we lost the internet and all knowledge, Bitcoin is not something I'm mourning.
But that would kind of maybe cause a bit of an economic crash if suddenly people couldn't access money, including Bitcoin. Because people have built deals, relationships, trade on those institutions. Or not institutions, because Bitcoin is decentralized.
I guess if we lose that, we go back to, well, like you said, trade. We go back to barter. I have one chicken. What will you give me for my one chicken? Like swapping, trading.
But a lot of urban people, and most society is now urban. What are we going to trade? In flats, people don't have very much.
What do we need? We don't have the internet, but presumably we have all the other stuff that we still have. Like you're still in your flat or your house.
What if there's no house prices, There's no... Or like house prices are flipped because what used to be useful might be in the city with a job, and now that's tertiary sector, service sector job just doesn't exist.
What did they do in The Last of Us? Because there was no banking system because the world is overrun by fungus zombies.
Yep.
But I think they barter, don't they?
There's no law.
I don't think they really used cash anymore. I think they had just ammo and violence.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like all these films, there's always some plot twist or like plot point where they're like, we need to go to the supermarket that's been abandoned for the last 5 months. And they get there and it's like being held by some sort of gang. And they've got machetes and shotguns and the people trying to get the food. And then there's some sort of fight scene over like a tin of baked beans.
Or medicine.
I remember one scene where someone bartered some strawberry seeds, but they paid for it with a gun.
Yeah, I guess it becomes like needs and wants.
Yeah, and also in Mad Max, because obviously nuclear disaster, it's food for gasoline and food for ammunitions and vice versa. That's like the only things that you trade because they're the only things that you need, apparently.
But how would that work in, say, like the UK as an island where there are not many guns at all?
We're not going to be bartering for guns, I'd assume. I think we'd barter for other stuff. I don't know.
Other weapons or...
Yeah, I know, cricket bats.
Food surely becomes the most pressing. Food and water.
Yeah, but all the tin stuff, I mean, people be like breaking down the walls at the different water bottling facilities trying to get all the water. Are we assuming there's no more tap water?
That's not... Well, I don't really know much about the tap water process, but I don't imagine it's so internet-based. I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, I'm just confused. So there's no internet. Would we still... Because, like, technically, for, like, wastewater treatment plants, they don't really need internet. They can operate it all manually.
Or, well, some of them have electronic control systems, but they're in a sort of closed network rather than an internet-based network. So as long as it can communicate with itself, hopefully it'd work fine, but that's also assuming we have power.
Yeah.
Wastewater treatment plants need electricity.
Do we have electricity but no internet? Or do we have no electricity and no internet? Because if the lights go out, are we suddenly bartering for torches? And candles, yeah. We're back to
we're bartering
those
for
dates.
candles.
But that's okay, because candle making has become trendy, so there will be people who...
You always make candles. Antonia will be all right.
I'll have a very, very weak source of light.
A very beautifully smelling, scented source of light.
Yeah.
But at high risk of a house fire.
Yeah, that's true.
No, you just take turns watch.
Are we going back to fires? Like people with log burners, are they suddenly better off? Because what about gas?
Yeah, I've got no gas. How are we supposed to cook our food and keep warm?
And all my hob is electric. So if we've got no electricity, I can't make any food.
I feel like a lot of films or disaster TV shows kind of go towards turning back on some sort of infrastructure. Or destroying some sort of infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually one of the first ones that they try to bring back is electricity. Because you kind of need it to do a lot of stuff.
There's always the radio as well. Because I'm thinking if you lose the internet, we're losing most forms of communication. And then there's always like one radio channel that they tune into.
Or use the radio for secret communications.
Yeah.
Plot a rebellion.
What we're rebelling against.
I don't know.
The monopoly. Whoever has a monopoly on something, that's really useful.
Yeah, it's generally when radio secret communications are for like rebelling or for like getting hybrid children to safety.
Oh, I love Sweet Tooth.
Such a good series.
Okay, I was gonna go like, hybrid children? What about normal children?
What about normal children?
Or how are they hybrid?
So they're hybrid in that they're half human, half animal. So they'll be born to humans, but they'll have traits of different animals. So like Sweet Tooth is a boy who's half human, half deer. So he's got like antlers of a deer, and also he has like the nose, and he's got deer eyes. In that when it's dark, they're reflective, and it looks super creepy.
And he has good hearing.
Good hearing, yeah.
Now, how did that happen?
We find out in season 2. It was basically
Okay.
science experiment gone wrong.
So did that cause the apocalypse in that film?
There's
also a thing called the sick. So like a lot of it's sort of not really clear whether the hybrid started first or the sick started first. And the sick kills adults only or children?
It kills adults.
Yeah. So there's like obviously then a lot less people because a lot of people get wiped out by the sick. And then these hybrid animals, children, start happening as well. And a lot of them get abandoned and a lot of their parents died.
Yeah, but the hybrids are immune to the sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch Sweet Tooth, Antonia, it's great.
Yeah, well.
Would recommend.
So was the disaster the epidemic that happened?
Yes.
Yeah. Was the illness.
Illness, and then obviously society crashed because people were dying spontaneously.
And also, there became a thing that if you got the sick, you got burned alive in your house.
So you didn't spread the sick. Very depressing.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way out of that disaster was beneficial genetics.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, natural immunity, I guess.
I mean, the way out of that was basically live somewhere really isolated where you have access to all the supplies that you need.
But then how do we rebuild society? So I feel like a lot of films focus on the disaster part.
Yeah, immediate survival.
But never on the, how do we get out of this situation? Or is that just because it's a boring film?
Well, I was thinking about Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Because I watched the new Hunger Games one, where it's like how Snow became Snow's president.
Mm.
And they invented the Hunger Games, didn't they? Because there's a way to like quash rebellion and lord it over their district. So like they rebuilt society basically through fear and through like having this Hunger Games. So like if you were a good citizen, your name didn't get put in the pot for the Hunger Games as many times. Whereas like it was like a punishment, but like through fear they like established order and a regime, and they had a lot of foot soldiers essentially.
In The Quiet Place, the second one, they do go into like how to rebuild society or like how to rebuild your life after blind aliens who hunt by sound have landed on your planet and want to kill all of humanity.
Yeah, those are great. I like those films.
Just basically be really quiet and don't use things that make noise. Also, learn sign language.
And so they must have lived without motors, because in, I think it's The Last of Us, when you're trying to start up a generator to power something, to, let's say, open a gate to get to the next area, that usually alerts is it zombies?
They're called the infected.
The infected, yeah. So that must be a world without motors and fans and everything.
Yeah, I don't think there's electricity. From what I remember, they use like candles and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think they have it.
Wow.
And they have like super padded, like all the floors are like loads of rugs and stuff.
How do they make the rug without power tools, Then it's just weaving.
I think it's just weaving everything manually.
Or living somewhere super secluded where they don't know that you're there.
It sounds like a lot of them are coming down to not having power. So goodbye electricity, goodbye internet, and living off-grid, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always some sort of like green nirvana that they're searching for. Like they're always trying to get away from the zombies or the disaster to like this mystical place where it's better over. If we can just get over these mountains through a swamp and defeat this angry gang, we'll end up at the place that everyone is, where somehow they have power and they're growing their own fruit and vegetables and everyone's happy and has enough to eat.
A little utopia.
Yeah, exactly. Which would be like somewhere off-grid with farmland. Potentially animals as well.
How would that work in the UK?
We'd all end up at CAT.
Oh. The Centre for Alternative Technology. How do you think we could sustain ourselves without industrial farming?
I think
Depends how many people you have.
People do manage to there are people who do live like a subsistence lifestyle in the UK, so I think you could manage it. It's a very different lifestyle you have to get used to.
Yeah, you wouldn't have anything like oranges or shampoo. You have to live totally off grid. You could do it, I think, but you'd have to really season it.
You could have shampoo. What's shampoo made of? If we just talk about soap,
yeah,
lye, which is a strong alkaline, plus a fat, and then saponification. So
we could have shampoo.
I mean, have you seen Fight Club?
Eh?
Yeah. Oh.
Wait, we can have so. Okay, that's good. I like that idea. But you wouldn't need land, I think, for a lot of seeds / established territory. You definitely live a lot more seasonally if we stop having the internet. And then you go back to all the slightly old, not old fashioned, but like preserves and pickles and canning things, like salting fish and smoking meat so it lasts like through the winter.
That kind of knowledge is probably reasonably well kept offline, isn't it? People still remember how to do that. Or can have a guess.
Yeah, or they picked it up during COVID because they were really bored.
Yeah.
All those people making sourdough.
Or kimchi. I've learned to make kimchi.
That's fun. I guess also you could start fishing and hunting your own food. Like there's plenty of deer in the UK that you could reasonably kill.
How are we going to kill a deer?
I mean, I personally have no idea. I mean, people shoot deer. That's not, and pheasants and.
How are we going to get a gun?
Have you read Lord of the Flies?
Yes.
You get a stick and sharpen it and chase down a ball.
You think I can keep up with a deer?
I think this is where you work in a group, because you're not going to have one deer to yourself.
That's a lot of meat on a deer. Yeah, that's going to take a while.
Hey, I do live near Richmond Park and there are deer there. Say I live near there. I'm like 2 hours cycling.
So if we're going a modern disaster, there's going to be a lot of livestock still wandering around the UK. It's going to be much easier to kill a cow than it is to kill a wild animal. They're not going to run. Also, we need a butcher. Like someone that knows what to do with the carcass. If we manage to kill it, how are we cutting it up?
And also someone who knows how to preserve the meat well, because...
You don't just chuck salt on it until...
I think there's an art to salting meat. I don't think you can just like pour a bunch of salt on it.
So we could grow food, we can hunt food, we can sort that out. Going back to Waterworld, was the one bit of land Everest?
What, because it was the tallest bit, the one bit that wasn't submerged?
Yes, it was the tip of Everest.
Wasn't it really freaking cold?
No, because global warming and the rest of the world. I mean, all of the ice caps are melted.
Okay, so all of the ice caps are melted, so all the sea levels have raised so significantly that Everest is like the green plate.
The only bit of land left, yes.
And did that have, did they get there in the end? Spoilers for Waterworld.
They got there in the end, yeah. They had to, I think they ended up using, not a hot air balloon, but they were, so everyone on the Earth lives on rafts, basically.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
And so I think they were using something akin to either a kite or a hot air balloon to navigate their way to Everest, because you're not going to paddle there.
How many people made it in the end?
It was just a town or village where Kevin Costner's character were trying to save. But there weren't, from what I remember, there wasn't that many groups of humans left anyway, because obviously a lot of people drowned, and it's really difficult living on a raft.
Yep.
Yeah, a raft is a pretty extreme environment to try and survive in, because you've really got nothing, and then you're exposed to the elements. And presumably in this area with high environmental problems, there's a lot of storms. So if you're on a raft in the sea and there's a storm, you might not be on the raft by the end of the storm.
I'm not sure I would have built a good enough raft to begin with to have survived a storm. Rafts are not the most sturdy of things.
No, and also you're going, you can't control the direction that you're going in a raft very easily.
All the ice caps are melted. You can't anchor anything because sea's too deep. You don't have any there's no shallow water.
That's terrifying.
Did anyone find a submarine that they could have just used that?
No.
Oh, I'm not spending my existence on a submarine.
But at least you kind of have a little bit more choice over what's happening around you.
Yeah, they didn't have any submarines in Waterworld. I don't know if all the submarines were just trapped underwater and no one could dive deep down enough to get a submarine.
Sounds like an oversight. I feel like there are submarines.
I mean, a lot of these apocalypse movies have major oversights. I still can't quite figure out in Waterworld what they did for water. There's only seawater. I'm just how did they get... They do talk about it, but I'm just this is weird.
Yeah, because everything's become saltier, right? Well,
yes.
That's all land gone, apart from this one. Okay.
No.
Were they hoping that the sea levels would go down?
No. Yeah.
That's not very sustainable, even if you manage to get there.
Oh, you know another thing that has like major oversights, but like we just tend to ignore it because it's a really good movie/series anyway. Snowpiercer. Like, how is that train self-sustaining?
Oh, I loved that show.
I have not seen Snowpiercer, so I need more context.
I thought that was clever because they did have a carriage for everything. I mean, they had like a freaking aquarium on the train. That was.
Is that everyone lives on the train, and that's all you need?
It's an enormous train, like 1,000 carriages, like miles long.
It's the rest of humanity that live on the train, and it was decided by kind of like a lottery. So basically, Snowpiercer is kind of the antithesis to Waterworld, where to solve. They go too far in their bid to solve climate change, so they put the I can't remember the name of the chemical, but they basically use a chemical that blocks out solar radiation, but they launch too much and it brings on an ice age.
Yeah.
And the only way to survive the ice age is to have a train that constantly travels around the world continuously.
Yeah.
The entire world. And the only way to get on this train is to be mega rich, so that's the first class passengers, or you work on the train, that's like the second class and third class passengers, or you manage to just like get on the train illegally, sneak on it, in which case you're at the back and people hate you and they're trying to get rid of you.
But their train is a fully functioning city, essentially. So they have like entertainment, they have a bar, they have an aquarium for food and also for fun. They have different sections for living. There's a school on the train. Everything you can imagine is on this train.
I don't understand how the aquarium works. Like, how big is that carriage?
How the what works?
That aquarium's huge. It's massive.
They lose the aquarium. Plot twist. It's just very sad day. That's my favourite. But they also have cows. They have cows on the train. So they can have, like, I guess, food and fuel, essentially.
Is that like today's nomadic lifestyle? Instead of having a caravan,
but on a train,
got a whole train, constantly circumnavigating the world to avoid the cold, I presume, when the Earth rotates. Wow.
I think it's also just to survive and wait it out until its temperature starts going up, that you can survive outside again.
That was their whole plan, was to like wait it out on the train, however many years it took for the ice to melt and the radiation to go down. It was cool, and it was a proper class system as well. So like the really rich people got the best of everything. They're getting the like fish from the aquarium, whereas people in third class are getting like not even sausages and mash.
The kind of food you don't want to ask where it came from.
Yeah, no, I mean it's better than what the stowaways got.
Yeah, there was like some sort of bar, right? It was like an all-encompassing nutrient bar thing.
Yeah, because I've seen both the movie and the TV series. I get confused with what's the bar's made of, because I don't think they show you in the TV series what it's made from, because it's really gross.
Is it waste?
No, it's bugs. They show a machine that's just like milling a load of insects and turning it into that bar, and I'm like, ew, gross.
You can eat a lot of insects is a thing. Like eating insects, they always say that that's going to be the future because it's like cheap and not sustainable, but like easily producible. Make a lot.
It's also like because it's a rich protein source, and there's already cultures who eat insects. But like we've been saying, if to survive an apocalypse, major lifestyle changes are needed.
Yeah, become okay with eating bugs. Okay.
Hey, Hakuna Matata. Live like Timon and Simba. No, wait, Timon and Pumbaa.
No.
And be like Simba and learn to eat bugs.
Would bugs have survived the winter, though?
They're on the train.
Otherwise, probably not. But then cockroaches literally survive everything, don't they? So maybe the cockroaches are okay.
What's the nutritional value of a cockroach, then?
Probably quite high, because they're probably a lot of protein. And they're quite big.
Yeah, I don't want to think about it. Cockroaches gross me out. They're just everywhere.
Thankfully, I've not come across that.
When you find cockroaches, they're just everywhere, and it's like, how are there so many of you?
Can you eat cockroach? People eat.
You can, but if you just find one, I don't think you want to touch it because you don't know what it's eaten or where it's been.
Oh, I see. So you could have some sort of like leftover toxin.
Or parasites.
Or it may have be covered in some bacteria or virus that could kill you.
But that's also what we didn't consider before, is that, like, if there's some sort of big problem, can we even eat the animals? Is it safe to eat the animals because of, like, what they've been exposed to? But then I suppose...
That is true. I don't know if in Mad Max they only have vegetables. I don't know if they eat any meat. They only show the vegetables in Mad Max. I mean, they didn't eat other... I think they did eat other humans, but they also ate maggots that grew on dead bodies. But they definitely traded vegetables. That's what they were trading for bullets and gasoline.
I guess because ultimately to get animals, you have to feed them something. So you could cut out the middle part and just convert protein yourself rather than getting a cow to convert protein less efficiently.
I think in Mad Max it was vegetables and mother's milk and water.
Yeah, Mad Max had some really gross parts.
Yep. Some really weird bits.
Some really weird bits, for sure. Well, we've talked about sort of terrestrial threats. What about extraterrestrial threats?
So how to survive if aliens come and destroy the world? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you go for, like, what happened in the Avengers, where Thanos eliminates half of the universe's population by snapping his fingers, then, I mean, you've lost half the people, but you've still got all your technology and all your electricity. You just have fewer people to run stuff.
Yeah, because essentially the world does carry on, doesn't it? Like, nothing major collapses because of the lack of people, don't think. Not that they show.
It did seem like society was okay.
Yeah.
Upset, but okay.
But still good.
Yeah. What if they were benevolent instead, like the pacifist? That would be nice. And isn't that what was hoped for in Three Body Problem? Although she did it out of spite.
Yeah, but wasn't it the aliens were never really going to, like, help them, because the initial message from the first alien who got the message, the alien was saying, "You're lucky that I'm a pacifist. We'll destroy your planet." And then the Chinese lady's like, "Yeah, go ahead. We can't help ourselves. Do it. Destroy the planet. Destroy Earth."
Would we get on with the aliens? Do you think humanity would be like, okay, these pacifist aliens to our planet, now suddenly we're going to share our resources with them? Or do you think we as humanity would be like, war against the aliens?
I think humanity, not humanity as a whole, but, like, a few prominent people in humanity would probably declare war. Because egos...
Are they more powerful?
Yeah.
Because if they can, like, blast us with a single look, then we would then not be the superior race. So then we presumably have to do what they say. If they want to take over, they can. Or are we living in harmony with these aliens?
I think it'd be nice to live in harmony, but just thinking of all the sci-fi movies that involve aliens, and usually someone declares war on someone because someone wants someone's resources.
That's true. Also, if they've done well enough to get here, they clearly have more advanced technology than us. So maybe they could help us with the old global warming, global hunger, all the classic crises of today.
Yeah, and, like, allegedly the aliens helped humans build the pyramids, so maybe they'll be back to help us with how to solve climate change.
So I don't believe that conspiracy theory, but what benefit do the pyramids have to the aliens?
I thought they were launch pads, weren't they? Isn't that how the conspiracy goes? There was some sort of launch pad for spaceships or something like that?
Launch pad also may have just been, like, a message left behind, because isn't there also, like, carvings or something in South America that you can only see from space, so people think it has to be aliens who left those carvings?
I mean, what if someone just had a really big vision? Was able to make those carvings happen?
Well, it could be purely, like, coincidental. Like, maybe they weren't trying to send a message and it just, looks like they were when you get above it.
Kind of like the Rothschild images.
What, the ones you get in, like, psychotext?
Yeah, when it's an ink blot and you can interpret it in many different ways.
Yeah.
The only, like, it's not a disaster movie, but it's a sci-fi movie, but it does have friendly aliens in it, and it's not E.T. It's The Fifth Element. Like, there's a group of aliens who entrust Earth with... Well, they did entrust Earth with, like, the key to save the universe. But then they have to like remove the key to save the universe because they decided that they can't trust Earth. So I don't know.
There's a rival as well, because I don't know if they're friendly, but they don't cause any big problems, do they? Apart from like being there.
Oh yeah, Arrival.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a bit of a miscommunication with the translations? Because wasn't there like one word that got mistranslated and they thought it was a threat rather than the word it actually was, which was not threatening?
Honestly, I just remember Amy Adams and a lot of circles.
Fair enough.
I think it ended amiably, though.
Yeah, I don't think there was like a
I
big
think it did.
war between the aliens and everyone else.
Yeah, there was tension.
Yeah, there was. They were all like, "Why are you here? What do you want?" I don't remember like any fighting. Yeah.
Have you guys seen Mars Attack?
No.
Okay. So, like, there's a scene where they have a translation device that translates what the Martians are saying, and the Martians are saying, "We want peace," blah, blah, blah. And then the Martians, like, start attacking and killing all the humans.
Oh,
So they lied.
Yeah, they lied.
that's a shame.
But humanity did end up defeating the Martians, but it turns out it's because the Martians don't like a certain wavelength, which can be found in a very specific yodeling country song, which they just start playing in all the radio stations.
So the cure for the alien invasion is yodeling.
Yeah.
What, and then all the aliens leave?
No, their heads explode.
Oh, wow.
Because they can't tolerate the frequency.
I did not see that coming.
Very impressive.
It's a very random way for the aliens. It's also a Tim Burton movie, so no wonder it's weird, but...
So in that case, we would have essentially just tried anything and happened to notice this secret.
Yeah, that one was just completely coincidental. I mean, the guy who figured it out, he was trying to rescue his grandma, and his grandma likes listening to that yodeling country music. And her headphones get unplugged, so the music gets played on loud on the loudspeakers, and it kills the aliens. And the grandson's like, "Oh my god, this is how we defeat
But
aliens."
isn't that similar in The Quiet Place as well? Because don't they figure out static is like annoying to the creatures?
That is, yeah.
So there's all some sort of little loophole or helpful way around.
Yeah.
What if they don't have a weakness?
Like Thanos.
Yeah.
Like, how did we kill Thanos again?
Yeah, because we won eventually.
Brute force?
Yeah, I think it was just a massive group effort by people.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I remember him playing a lot of possible scenarios, and there was like one scenario where we weren't.
Yeah. Oh wait, I remember in like the second one, Endgame, like they defeated Thanos because Tony Stark used the Infinity Stones to basically snap away Thanos.
We have to sacrifice Robert Downey Jr. Save the human race.
Yeah. You have to sacrifice Robert Downey Jr. You have to save the human race.
Or just restore 50% of all of everyone.
I mean, also a great idea.
Why was he obsessed with Earth of all places though? Because that was half the population of Earth, not half the population of the universe, right?
No, half population of the universe.
Oh, okay.
But then wouldn't he have done it to his like buddies?
He already did that to like his planet, because that was where he got the idea of. Because like his planet was overpopulated, so it was like really bad issues to do with like resources and people not like getting enough. So like that's why he went around basically eliminating planets, because that's how he got Gamora. He was like on her planet, invaded, killed off all the people, but decided he wanted to keep Gamora.
Yeah, okay. So he just kept going for the rest.
Yeah, and then he was like, actually, there's a quicker way to eliminate half the people in the universe. Anyway, I don't think to survive Thanos' snap, I think we've decided was like, didn't really have that much of an impact. It's like other alien invasions, a bit trickier depending on whether or not they're trying to kill us. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like a sci-fi movie where aliens invade the Earth and humans are trying to survive. And the only thing that comes to mind is Star Wars. But by then, we already have advanced technology.
Yeah, I guess like Doctor Who, some of those episodes, like when the Daleks try and take over.
Yeah.
And the Cybermen come and try and recruit people to their cause or kill everyone that gets in their way. But that doesn't tend to lead to massive global collapse. ships before the Doctor saves usually London from them.
No, we just see it from the perspective of London. You save the whole planet.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a way to protect or not protect. I don't know if there's a way to proactively prevent alien invasion, which doesn't involve some sort of war or violence.
I feel like it would be weaponry, right? Like it would be shooting them out of the sky before they're there.
Don't invite them in the first place, or hope that there's like some secret intergalactic organization that already has something on Earth that's going to protect Earth, like Captain Marvel.
Or diplomacy. Have we tried diplomacy?
Diplomacy.
Just being nice.
I think we tried diplomacy and it either works or it doesn't work, depending on if we're going to go with Arrival, whether it's going to be Arrival or Mars Attack.
We didn't really talk about the agency aspect of aliens.
It's like we're all enslaved.
I mean, I guess we're enslaved if we're still alive, right? And then presumably we're doing whatever they want. So we're, actively, as an enslaved race, building something or mining something.
Part of a society. Maybe not
Yeah.
our society, but part of a society.
We're dying off in huge numbers because the aliens don't care where we live. We're just like a workforce to them.
Or pets.
I've been pet for an alien.
Oh.
My cat has a great
Yeah.
life. We were fed, watered, played with, cuddled, kept warm. I mean, we
Could
don't have
work out,
so much
yeah.
agency, but it could be worse. I'd rather be that than a slave. I guess they might get bored of you and abandon you.
Learn new skills. Can't get bored of a cat because they make so many different expressions and they do things differently. Surprise them.
I've got to keep learning like instruments and languages and stuff to impress them. I need to learn yodeling now.
Just in case it's like a frequency that they can't handle and it will explode their heads. Yeah.
In which case, that's your ticket to freedom.
Yeah. Are we surviving? That's what I want to know. If there's some sort of huge global collapse, are the three of us going to make it for the next 60 years? Yeah, so let's say we have a lifespan of, 90, given modern medicine.
I guess it depends on how kind everyone else is.
I feel like there's always people that get unnecessarily killed. Like they're just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Are you wearing a red shirt?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think also it depends on what the thing is that's killing off humanity, because if it's like a disease, then that's just down to luck on whether or not you're one of the first people to die, or you get killed later on.
Yeah, true. If it's a giant takeover by large pollen-bearing plants, I am gone. I can't even survive one weekend in Cambridge with hay fever, so I don't think I'm not surviving some kind of plant-based apocalypse.
They've yet to do a movie about that, but maybe someone in Hollywood will try to make a movie about it.
Just loads of people sneezing and having red eye.
Yeah, I'm sure someone will make a movie about it. I mean, someone made a movie about a shark in Paris, so...
I'm gonna watch that.
Watch it for Shark Week.
My kind of crap. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'll be very good at killing anything to survive, so that's probably bad.
Yeah, I think most of us will be bad at, like, the whole hunter side of hunter-gatherer. Yeah, like, how do you hunt your own food?
You grow it.
Yeah.
You gotta wait a long time. Like, it takes a long time to grow stuff if you're starting from scratch.
Lettuce grows pretty fast. That's what I've learned. Lettuce, rocket, that grows fast.
Not super calorific to survive.
No, that is true.
But I guess maybe you can live off beans and frozen bread for a while. For you.
I need to start freezing bread. But if we don't have electricity, how are we going to freeze bread?
That's a good point. Yeah. Everything will spoil. A little we can. Spaghetti hoops and soup and stuff.
Need to make sure I stock up on tin openers.
Foiled through the managed to survive whatever disease or disaster, but you don't have a tin opener and you starve to death.
Yeah. I mean, that is the worst. When you've got a blunt tin opener and you're trying to open the tin, it's horrid. It's like, part of this tin is open, but other parts are not.
Oh dear. It's not looking good for any of us.
No.
No, I don't think we'd survive an apocalypse. We lack the basic survival skills.
Maybe Kevin Costner will come to save us.
Yeah, he has been in more than one apocalypse movie, so I think by now he knows how to save people from an apocalypse.
We'll make sure to try and get on the same boat that he's on.
Yeah. I'll see you all learn everything.
And on that note, we'll draw the conversation to a close.
So what we've learnt from post-apocalyptic films and TV is that violence is often used. However, technology seems to generally survive, and so does human ingenuity. A lot of creativity has been used to create this entertainment, and hopefully it will inspire us to act and work together.
See you in the next episode.
Yeah, see you all in Everest.
Wait.
The views expressed in this podcast belong entirely to the person that said them. They do not represent any industry or organisation. If you enjoyed listening to these views, it would really help us out if you could rate us, leave a review and tell a friend. This podcast was sponsored by no one, but if you're interested in funding us to continue to have frank discussions about science and engineering, please get in touch.